The hotelplanner.com PGA EuroPro Tour has reached the halfway mark into the season. So far we've had first-time winners, course records and one multiple champion. Let's see what this week has in store for us. It's been quite a season. First-time wins for Adam Runcie and Richard Edgington. Matthew Court has won twice this year at Longhurst and the Carrick. And who can forget the spectacular 61 for Billy Hemstock at Montrose. Hello and welcome to Close House for the 2016 Lookers Championship. We're about 10 miles outside of Newcastle and one of the hidden gems of the northeast. The Lee Westwood Colt course is simply sensational. Set on the side of the hill near Headon on the Wall, this could be one of the toughest courses the players face. Let's see what's coming up over the next couple of hours.
We need a little birdie charge just to give ourselves a buffer.
Yeah. It doesn't get more stunning and beautiful than this tee shot on the 13th here at Close House. It's dramatically downhill. You've got the whole of Durham in front of you to aim at.
I'm lucky to be joined by Jonathan Lupton, course director here at Close House.
I mean, it's been a long time since we played amateur golf together, and yeah, how things have changed.
All that to come, but first, Johnny Morgan always talks a good game. So we thought we'd put him under a bit of pressure this week, so we entered him into this week's event. We'll see how he gets on later in the show. But first, here is his analysis of what's in store for him and the players this week.
What a stunning place the lads have in store for him this week. We're at the Colt course, Lee Westwood design at Close House. It's the Lookers Championship. Doesn't get much better than this. Par 71, 6,813 yards to boot as well. It's absolutely stunning. I was having a look at it on the golf course yesterday. I could just see for myself what a difficult track it is. Off the tee, you've got to be really wise, really methodical, take your medicine. Round the greens, unbelievable. They're so undulating and so difficult. Massive runoffs as well, and they're pretty slick out there. About 10.5 on the Richter scale, you could say, when it comes to speed and, you know, dangerousness. And I think, you know, the lads this week, if they come off the fairways, no more than 10, 15 feet. I was playing with Jack Colgate the other day, and he said the grass was higher than him. That ain't hard though, is it? I mean, fair play, Jack. I tell you what, we had a good round of golf. Unfortunately, you lost a couple of bob, didn't you? But I tell you what, the lads this week, anything under par is a winner.
Thanks, John. Let's take a look now at the names on top of the leaderboard after the opening round. The conditions on day one were good for the players, but on day two, the heavens opened. 50 players made the cut at 3 over, showing just how tough this course was playing. Mr. Consistent on the tour last year, Craig Farrelly, didn't miss a cut in 2015, but has struggled for form so far this season. 2 rounds of 68 would see him head into the final round at 6 under.
First of all, you have to make your mind up what you're going to do. I think the good thing is here, the wind's going to switch around constantly. You have to bear in mind where it's coming from and what you can attack and what you can't attack.
A familiar face on the European Tour over recent years, Chris Lloyd has 3 EuroPro top 20 finishes to his name this season. Last time he was in contention, a disastrous final round at Burr Hill denied him the title. Thanks to a 66 in round 2, he would put himself right into contention.
First round, bounce back ability for me, like we said, we started with a 6 and you kind of get off to a bit of a sluggish start. I might have just stayed patient and had a good finish on the back 9. The second round, probably played 2.5 hours in quite heavy rain. Gave myself looks at birdie as many as possible, and when you do that, the occasional putt does drop.
Welshman Richard James had the lowest handicap in Wales when he turned pro at the start of the season. He's beginning to find his feet in the pro game and is in the hunt for a maiden pro check. He would head into the final round at 7 under, courtesy of a 67 in round 1 and a 68 in round 2.
I putted really well from inside of 10 feet. I've really holed a lot of putts inside there, and my pace putting's been really good. When I have given myself a chance for birdie, I've hold those putts, which I have been doing in the last 2 weeks in Scotland, and it's nice to carry that on.
Scotland's James Stephens has had a torrid 2016, missing the cut on all his events he has played. This week could just be his week. He heads into the final round at 8 under, outright second thanks to a superb 66 on day 2.
I've been really solid tee to green and my putting's been really good. I've not had any free putts really, and I've had it inside 10 feet loads of times and managed to convert most of them.
But the man they all have to catch is Billy Hemstock. A 69 on day 1 was followed by a course record 63 on day 2. That's 2 course records on tour in the space of a month for the Devon boy. Confirmation then that Hemstock leads by 2 from James Stephens. 8 shots separate the top 10. You would have to say that the winner would come from one of these. But remember Montrose and Billy Hemstock's final round to burst through the field to take the victory. Well, before he went out, Kit Alexander caught up with our leader and asked him about his 2 course records in the space of a few weeks.
The Montrose one was good. To come back from 3 shots to go on and win was it was really good. There's work to be done here, so I'm going to keep my eye on that for the moment. There's no magic ingredient really. It's just some things that sometimes it fits into place. The courses are getting stronger and stronger. The greens every week are in such good condition, so it's a good sort of arena to shoot low scores. It feels fantastic to have I guess 2 course records now. I had one as an amateur at Littlestone, which was a while ago, so yeah, it feels good.
A very confident Billy Hemstock there. Well, without much further ado, let's head into the final round. Taking you through the action on course is Kit Alexander, and in the commentary box, Johnny Morgan, Gary Ellis, but first, Michael McCullen.
Thanks very much, Chloe. 8 tournaments left before the Tour Championship, and the first of those 8 is here at Close House. 35 out, 36 back. This is Sam Robertshaw after his fine 67 in round 2, looking for a birdie at the first.
Yeah, slick greens here. This one en route, disappear, and it's in. What a start.
3rd day in a row he's birdied that.
This is one of the features of this golf course, the runoffs from just off the green. You can trickle off the edge with the fast slopes. Leave very awkward chip shots, don't they, John?
Oh, they do indeed. I mean, that was a great shot there by Young. Very delicately played.
Ashley Chester's good day for him in the 2nd round. Shot 68, looking to pick up from there now at the start of his final round.
Go on, one last roll. Yes, in it goes. Another one drops. Robert Shaw, 4 under par. After birdieing the first, can he back it up on the 2nd? This green, like the Himalayas. Hard to find a pin position on this one. It really is. It's very slopey. That could feed down. Now here we come to the first, just under 400 yards long, playing over the par this week, and rightly so. I mean, the tee shot, really crucial. It's got to be down the right half of this fairway to hold it. Anything down the left is going to kick towards the trees. Big bunker, not really in play if you hit 3-wood off the tee, but then you leave yourself no more than a pitching wedge or a 9-iron to a green that faces you from halfway on back to the front. Absolute cracking start. And this man's got to deal with it, out with the iron.
2 off the lead, James Stephens. 68 and 66 in the first 2 rounds for him.
Certainly zipped through that one there. Fast through the ball. And where you said, John, down the right-hand side, good position.
Your hips are like that, aren't they, Gary?
Snake hips.
Snake hips. Look at this.
Yeah, it's a good movement. Interesting swing, rising up on his toes there. It's a number of players do that, although it's, I think, something as a coach you would try and advocate to stay down on the ball.
To stay stable. I mean, this guy does it fantastically, doesn't he?
You were out with him during the second round, Gary. What did you make of him?
Oh, Billy's a fine player. I was fortunate to watch him, and I've seen him a couple of times this season at close quarters, and it's very, very orthodox when you look at this. Good setup, quite a wide stance, not a big man at all, but he strikes the ball and gets a lovely flight. You could follow the ball going away there. It's a super trajectory.
This is Robert Shaw looking for back-to-back birdies now.
This would be the start you want. Getting a nice little charge, especially heading to the third. Come on. Oh, and another one goes in.
Well, a great start again. He's birdied the first 2 holes in all 3 rounds. Let's go out to Kit Alexander.
Both players in our final pairing found the fairway off the tee of the first. They faced blind shots into the pin, but they both found the green. Hemstock has got it closer. He's left himself just about 25 feet uphill for the perfect start.
James Stephen now with a lot of work to do here for his birdie.
Yeah, this one a monster. Rising up the hill. Very fast, though. This one going to swing from right to left. And he's misjudged that one. That's still a lot of work to be done there, Gary.
He certainly has, but that's the nature of these greens. They're so humpy and ollery, you can make yourself look very, very silly.
Missed every cut so far this season. James Stephen doing better this week. First look at Craig Farrelly. A couple of 68s for him so far. He parred the first today.
Oh, and look at that. Dissecting the flag. Couldn't leave it in a better place.
Craig Farrelly, 42 years of age now, been a pro for almost 20 years. His favourite course, Kiawah Island, venue for the 1991 Ryder Cup. And he had a very consistent year in 2015, which has set him up well for this season.
I think that's really good, you know, it gave me a lot of confidence, but I noticed that I was 0.01 behind the stroke average of the winner, and it really brings home how you need to win. You know, it's the win has to come because it jumps you above a lot of people. You know, I was making cuts, and every time someone won, they jumped above me. So it's a good thing. You know, it's a good thing that EuroPro does that, and it rewards winners. That's what we want.
Just highlights, John, how small the margins are on this tour now and how competitive it's become these days.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I mean, Greg's just hit the nail on the head. You have to win. Just like this man, Billy Hemstock. It is crucial that you win. You know, it really does jump you over so many people. Gives you that chance for that top 5 finish. Oh, that was a bad miss there. You wouldn't leave yourself an easier putt on this green. Uphill, little right to left.
Yeah, just over-borrowed it a bit. As we take a look down on this third fairway, what I like about Close House is the design of the bunkers. They look like giant jigsaw pieces, don't they? And everything.
They do.
It's wonderful, and they're deep. I mean, they're difficult.
Sam Robert Shaw represents the Army Golf Club, which will be the venue for the next tournament on the EuroPro Tour. He's birdied the first and he's birdied the second, and here he is looking for another at the third.
Tall, high-rising shot. Many of the players probably have a pop at this with their driver, can really catch the fast lane down the left-hand side and scoot it onto the front edge, especially where that pin is today. And Rob Shaw, that was a lovely shot in there, controlling the ball flight and the spin.
So as we go back to James Stephen, who was a bit wayward with his first putt. And again, that's not what he wanted, starting off with that 3-putt, albeit from long range.
Just the most horrible feeling, isn't it, John, to start like that?
It is, but it's one of the, these greens are so dangerous. I mean, we could see a lot of that happen today. We see Robert Shaw now for his birdie attempt to get to 6 under. Down the slope, this is fast, only got to breathe on it, and it's in the middle.
And that's the hat-trick, 3 birdies in a row to start his final round. Really making great strides up the leaderboard. 4 behind now. Hemstock still out in front after that par at the first.
Just a short approach shot from Louis Gauguin.
He's opened up with 2 pars today, needs to get something happening, and might just have done it here.
Dancing round the flag, look at that, chucking darts.
That was really good. As we go back to Billy Hemstock, who in his second round set a new course record here at Close House.
Yeah, second course record he set in just a few weeks after his efforts at Montrose.
Look at that, you can see there how the ball was just feeding away on the slopes.
Oh, it's unbelievable. And this really gives you a perception of how hilly this golf course is as well, just by that view there of Billy.
Ashley Chesters, who's already had 1 birdie today. That came at the first. Here he is now looking for another one at the third.
Quick rhythm there from Ashley Chesters as he pitches in, and it's another fine shot.
You'll remember an old school American, Lanny Watkins. Remember that swing?
Oh, not half. Watched Lanny a few times. Boy, was he quick.
Now Stephen looking to bounce back from his bogey at the first.
Oh, nearly pitches it in the hole. What a great shot. That's not much for a birdie left for him.
Yeah, looks like he's put the first hole behind him very quickly. Back to Chesters then to see if he can convert.
Not much break on this.
Oh,
look at
around
that.
the houses.
Took the necessary though.
He's going to be watching the Olympics, I think. Done his little lap of honour.
Back to our leader now. Can he go 4 clear?
Up the hill. Pace right, going to turn a little bit. Oh, not as much as I thought.
They've all been a bit fooled, haven't they? We've seen a number of putts that are just over borrowed on this hole.
I mean, the greens are in great shape. I mean, they are difficult. Definitely a good guard for this golf course.
Almost the simplest of tap-ins there. Nice if all your putts for birdies could be that long.
Oh, your heart won't be beating so fast, that's for sure.
And that's his first birdie of the day. So we go back to Stephen, looking to get back the shot he dropped at the first.
Well, that was just a big shove out to the right-hand side there. There was a bit of turn in that. And just tried to power it through the break, go straight at it.
That can affect your confidence on the greens all day, John, if you do that early on.
Oh, without question.
So Billy Hemstock then, 10 under par after 2 holes. Craig Farrelly, Richard James and James Stevens sharing second place, but 3 shots back. Ashley Chesters, good start for him. He's on 6 under along with Chris Lloyd. Robert Shaw and Gaughan at 5 under. And Henry and Booth a good bit back. Billy Hemstock then, the leader in the early stages of this final round at Close House. Welcome back to the final round of the Lookers Championship at Close House. Billy Hemstock is the man out in front. A couple of pars, enough for him to actually extend his lead to 3 shots in the early stages, but quite a number of players close behind and hoping to put some pressure on him as this front 9 progresses. Here is Hemstock then. He's 3rd in the race to Desert Springs. Can't quite overtake Matthew Court at the top today, but can get pretty close if he wins.
Ball below his stance, it can make the ball shift to his right, and that is well judged. Bang on the money that was. Now what a 4th hole this is, par 3, absolutely brutal. From the tee area, it looks flat as a pancake, but I tell you what, you get up on this green, you just see how big the runoffs are, and it is humongous, it really is. Anything just off the green is just going to feed away from the hole like you wouldn't believe. Very, very tough par 3, and a very long one to boot.
And this is Chris Lloyd playing that 4th. He's opened up his round with 3 straight pars.
And there's a very good example. It's just come up short. That will have bounced down. It may have caught the bunker. Going to leave a very, very difficult pitch up for Chris Lloyd.
James Stephen playing the 3rd, which is the shortest of the par 4s on this course.
Oh, that was controlling the spin extremely well. Oh, look at this one. Drops it straight down onto the back of the ball. ball divot, pops it lovely.
It's been a controlled start for Hemstock. He looks in control of his emotions and his game. 2 steady pars, and he's hit a fantastic shot into 6 feet here on the third. His playing partners actually hit it inside him. They always say doing this you should never make predictions, but I think Hemstock rolls this one in and takes a 3 or 4 shot lead if his playing partner misses.
And we'll see what happens to that forecast in a moment. But first let's go to Richard James, who's made a steady start. He's parred all of the first 3 holes.
This is probably in the region of a 4-iron or a 3-iron. Probably going for an easy option. Oh, he probably has. That was a 3-iron, probably pulled left, stopped short of that thick stuff. Oh, he has. That's going to be an awkward up and down, though.
Richard James, the Welsh prospect, turned pro less than 12 months ago. He also says his favourite course is Kiowa Island. Not a great season so far. Started the week 102nd in the race to Desert Springs, but set for a big move up.
The first 3 events, I didn't play bad at all. You know, I missed it by a couple of shots here and there, and then I went up to Montrose and the Carrick and played good. I made a lot of birdies, made 30 birdies in 2 events, but I made a lot of mistakes as well. So I knew I was making enough birdies just to cut out the mistakes. And this week, luckily enough, the first 2 rounds, I've not made many mistakes, and I've made still a lot of birdies. So it's been nice.
And you're right there in contention going into the final round. What's your strategy for today?
Same thing, really. I'm just going to do what I've been doing. My one goal this week was just to pick targets and commit to every shot. And if wherever the ball goes, I'll go find it and hit it again. You know, I've been struggling a little bit to commit to golf shots, so I just want to go out there, enjoy myself, and just commit to every shot, and we'll see where I am at the end of the day.
And I guess what he's finding, John, is the big difference between being a good amateur and a young professional.
It is. I mean, it's not easy at the best of times, but, you know, he's now in the ranks where you've got to try and put food on the table, and that definitely adds to the pressure of the game. Totally different from the amateur ranks.
Chris Lloyd, of course, was a young professional on the European Tour. He's looking to get something going as he tries to follow that 66 he had in the 2nd round.
Yeah, good player, Chris. Really is. Down my neck of the woods as well. Bristolian. Plays out at the Kendallshire, I think, and yeah, it's... he's had an awkward road at the past couple of years. As we see Billy Hemstock get it right. Kit Alexander nailed it, said he would hole it. Now James, open the club face right up. Needs some elevation on this. Get it right up in the air. Land on the green nice and soft and spinny. Just on the edge. This one releasing. Go on. Oh.
Very good effort from down there, because he won't have seen very much. I think it's very interesting what you were saying about being an amateur, John, and then going into the pro rank. You know, it's very easy to go in with the mindset, do I need to change something, instead of just playing your game.
Just missing to the right there. Tap that one in for par. Kit got it right.
James Stephen has missed a couple of ones from relatively short distance already today.
We go across to the 5th, and Craig Farrelly's 2nd shot.
This one looks like it's drawing in. Oh, just getting the club in wrong though. Half a club more, and that was right up by the pin. But it's a blind 2nd shot there, Gary. And look at this one, just feeding further away.
Yeah, I bet it looked good to Farrelly from back there. I'm sure he thought, "Cool, I've really nailed that."
I mean, the elevation in that is a good 20 yards. Not easy.
Great start for Robert Shaw. Birdied all of the first 3. Bogeyed the 4th, though, and a couple of pars since then. And looking to save par here at the 7th.
Oh, the putter is hot today. I bet he can't wait for the next week at the Army Golf Club.
I don't think he can believe it himself, all those head shaking going on. Complete disbelief that I could hold so many putts.
Now this is for a great up and down to save par for James. Does it? Oh, that settles the nerves.
And it really is one of those holes, isn't it, John, where you're just happy to take your par and walk on.
Oh, that's got to be one of the hardest holes on the golf course, the 4th. I mean, the length, the way, the position of the green with the bunker, very hard to get at, and he's done it extremely well. Now this one, big up a high rise. Bends from right to left, but he's got plenty of meat left on that bone. That's fired past the hole.
Very much in contention, Farrelly. 1 under for the day.
That's a lovely up and down for Chris. Great striker of the ball. Lloydie hit the ball an absolute country mile. Comes off like a missile.
Now, Gaughan birdied this hole in the first 2 rounds. He's got a chance to go one better today. It's for an eagle.
That was never ending.
No, it wasn't. But look how it stayed on the ground. Just shows the quality of these greens. Beautiful.
So fast. Now this one's going to be fast as well. Down on the left edge, just inside the left lip. Oh, and he's missed another.
First blemish on the card for Craig Farrelly. So Billy Hemstock has eased his way now into a 4-shot lead. Richard James, steady start for him. He's leading the chasing pack, but a lot of players gathered together in a share of 3rd place. Gaughan, Chesters, Farrelly, Lloyd and Stevens. So plenty of players hoping to put a bit of pressure on Hemstock. This is Chris Lloyd now. Very solid start to the round from him, all par so far. Now our leader, Billy Hemstock, is in a bit of trouble out on the 5th. Kit Alexander is out there with him.
Hemstock's only missed the first cut of fairway by about a yard here, but you can see the trouble he's got himself into off of the fairways here. It's thick, it's spindly, it's going to grab the club head. He's still got 150 yards uphill, incredible elevation change. Getting the club right here is nigh on impossible, knowing how it's going to react out of there and then how the elevation is going to treat it. Anywhere on the green here is a superb shot.
This is pretty horrible, isn't it, John?
Oh yeah, this is back of the stance, hands forward, punch this one out, give it all your might. Trying to scuttle it up onto the screen. Go on, keep running. And he's done well to get it there.
Yeah, giving himself a chance.
Looks happy enough with his efforts as we go back to James.
Yeah, James' second shot now to the 6th. With the sand iron in his hand. And look at that. Fantastic golf between these two.
Well, here at number 8, 477 yards. Now, to any normal boy and girl out there, 477 yards, par 4, you would think it's an absolute monster. It is a monster, but it's all downhill from start to finish. And I tell you what, it's got a trick up its sleeve. You look at this one, I've gone for option 1, straight down the left-hand side of this fairway, but there is an option 2, down the right, which I actually think is a better option. If you can hit it down the eye of a needle, dead straight off the tee, land in that spot, you've got a green to come into that's facing you, and you can hold the ball really, really quickly. Now, option 1, coming down the left-hand side here, gives you a bit more green to work with because you're coming up the green. I've slightly come down the right, which it's hit the bank and veered all the way down on this part here. And it's left me quite an awkward shot, and not actually a little bit longer. And as you can see, the green is absolutely stunning. Beautiful old bunkers, little stream in front on the left-hand side, so if they put the pin there, whew, it's going to be dodgy as hell to get it close. 9 iron, back of the stance and give it a rip. And I tell you what, that's right at it. Pin seeking all the way. And it's hit the green, it's about 20 foot, just shy, just on the upslope. Very tough. What a par 4.
Well, now can Gaughan make as good a job of this as John did?
Yeah, very awkward green to come into though. It really is a big groove in the centre of this green. If you don't quite get it on top, it'll feed away. And he's got it on top. That's a beautiful shot. Flirting with the bunker on the right-hand side.
Yeah, no wonder he was smiling there. As we go back to Billy Hemstock, having escaped from the deep rough, can he get this up and down?
Looking to preserve that 4-shot lead he now has.
One hop more and that was right next to the flag, but he'll take it after his troubled tee shot. Now Chester's second shot.
Oh, ball's a long way above his feet here. You've got to be very careful this doesn't go left, which is likely from that sort of lie.
Looks like a real prospect, Gary. We saw him do so well in the Open at St Andrews last year as an amateur.
Yeah, he had a great amateur career, and again, he'll settle down. He's played well so far this season. He's a good player. You can see the prospect. He'll watch his name in the future.
And after that excellent approach shot, James gets his first birdie of the day and closes the gap to 3 behind this man, Billy Hemstock.
Yeah, looks a very happy lad, James, as we see the leader. This one's slightly shifting from his right, only a fraction. Oh, and a little bit straighter.
That'll be his first dropped shot since the same hole in the first round. He's had a long run.
After his good approach, Chester's up the hill, 15 or 16 feet, and thank you very much.
Flying start, opened the day 6 behind, and he's cut that in half already.
Chris Lloyd to follow James. Straight putt, 4 feet. Oh, he's pulled it left. Have to take that one on the chin, Chris.
Powerful fellow. I think I'd want him on my side in a dark alley.
Definitely.
So Hemstock tidies up, but that ends his run of 35 holes without dropping a shot, and his lead has been reduced from 4 to 2 in a matter of moments.
Nice upright stance, button star here. Lifts the putter up on line and disappears. There we go. 2 birdies between these two on a very difficult hole.
So despite that drop shot at the 5th, Hemstock still out in front, but now only by 2 strokes from James, who's had his first birdie of the final round. Gaughan and Chester's very much moving into the picture as well. Great start from both of them. And Lloyd and Stephen, both also within striking distance, 4 shots off the lead. We're here in the northeast of England at Close House, stunning venue owned by Graham Wiley. Been around for about 20 years now, and one of the most popular locations on the EuroPro Tour, where the final round is really starting to hot up. Welcome back to Close House in the final round of the Lookers Championship, where resident pro Johnny Morgan dusted off his clubs and played his first professional tournament for 3 years. Let's see how he was feeling before the start of his second round.
I'm focusing on my shots ahead, really, one shot at a time. I'd like to hit my irons a little bit better. I hit them very poor yesterday. Drove the ball okay in places, putted okay at the pace of the greens, just they didn't drop. So it's just the irons. The irons just a little bit clunky.
And on the tee from Clevedon Golf Club, John Morgan.
John, you were talking about struggling with your clunky irons as you described them. Why does that just come and go from day to day for a professional?
Well, I just wasn't clearing myself out the way at all and just leaving the club way behind me, hitting it on the hill, pretty much nearly close to a shank 9 times out of 10, and just my short game getting me out of jail.
And what's it like even for an experienced pro just suddenly coming back and playing after so long out?
Well, it's a weird one, you know, you get that card in your hand. I'm okay in pro-ams and playing with your mates for a couple of beers in the bar afterwards, but you know, you get that card in your hand in a tournament, you do feel the weeby-jeebies, and I must admit it's just a different kettle of fish, and you take your hat off to players that are playing it all day long, every week, week in, week out.
We need a little birdie charge just to give ourselves a buffer.
Yeah. If this stays in, we've got a chance.
Level at the moment?
Level for the day.
Yep.
Famous last week. We're not going to count me lucky stars though. Getting up and down for fun at the moment, boys and girls.
When the conditions get like this, John, and it's so difficult and it becomes such a struggle, how does it affect your psychology?
Not a great deal. I just a bit more nitty and gritty, get down with it, you know, not go back an eyelid, don't let up on it, you know, you just have to keep your foot down on the gas and you know, go full tilt at it. I mean, it's the same for every player out there.
Did it all feel familiar, John, or was it strange being back in that environment again?
Strange being back there, I must admit. You know, the last time I was in contention for a pro event, you know, it was you know, I was playing some seriously good golf, and you know, you have to at the standard I was at the time, and you know, just obviously lacking a little bit of competitive fitness, if you know what I mean.
And I finally found a fairway, so game on. I need to finish with 3 birdies as well.
So having been out there and experienced it all again, John, given the chance, would you do it again anytime soon?
Yeah, I would, but I definitely need to work on a few things. I mean, I came in there very cold in the meaning of like not having a lesson with my coach or anything like that. I mean, I was stuck on my left-hand side really. I mean, I couldn't clear it out of the way. Just seeing a few of my swings and can see where my faults are, so you know, I can always go to the range and sort that out. But yeah, it would have been nice if that final putt went in, but not to be.
We've got to mention you did have a 67 in the Pro-Am, very creditable performance.
Yeah, and that's the difference, you know, very relaxed in that kind of atmosphere, but you get a card in your hand in competitive play, it's a whole different ball game.
So there's where we're at in this final round. Hemstock 2 clear of Richard James, the Welshman, who's looking for his first win as a professional. And here he is now at the 7th.
And again, coming up this hill, launching the ball up into the air as he got the club right. No, high, wide and not too handsome.
Yeah, I must admit, when I played that hole, I always came up short, and most people did as well. I mean, it just really deceiving. All uphill that second shot.
Excellent front 9 for Chesters of 32. He's got an eagle putt here, which would take him to within 1 of the lead if he could somehow make it, but he's nowhere near, is he?
Oh, he had to putt through so much of the fringe, and that just slowed up the ball dramatically. Surprised he didn't chip that one. And now we come to Lloyd, second shot at 7. Tall, high-rise iron, needs to carry it all the way. It will hold. And there it is. Releases just to the back fringe, and that's a good shot.
And he's got a chance there to break his run of all pars so far. Now Hemstock looking for a quick bounce back after his bogey at the 5th.
Good contact, sounded good. Yep, another chance of a birdie.
Richard James has got himself within 2 shots of the lead, but he's come up just shy with his second shot here to the par 5. He's left himself a devilish little pitch. The corner of that bunker is going to come into play. He's probably going to have to go quite aerial on this one, but if he can get up and down, that gets him to 9 under and just 1 behind Billy Hemstock.
And he has birdied it in both rounds so far. It's the shortest par 5 on the course.
Oh, what a delightful touch. Playing that low and zippy. Great control.
Doesn't he look pleased with himself off the back of it?
A very smiley face.
Now Chester's looking to keep the momentum going. Had a really good front 9. And he's made a very good start to the back 9. He's birdied the 10th all 3 days so far. That's his 4th birdie. And no dropped shots yet. And only 2 off the lead.
Well, that is unbelievable stuff. He's got his putting head on today, that's for sure.
Even though this is only a few inches off, coming from the different types of grass with the amount of slopes on these greens, it's ever so difficult to judge the speed.
And that's an eagle for Chris Lloyd.
That is a huge eagle.
And it changes everything now. Gets him to 8 under. Would you believe he's played this hole in 4 under for the 3 rounds this week? I'm sure he wishes he could just play it all day.
Oh, I bet he does.
And there he is, 24 years of age, representing the Kendallshire. Been a pro for a while now. His favourite course, Le Golf National, Ryder Cup venue in a couple of years, of course. Bath rugby fan, likes walking the dog, and a bit of wine tasting too.
Chris, you're 4 behind the lead heading into the final round here at Close House. How are you feeling?
Very confident. I mean, four shots is not that much really around this golf course. I mean, there's not much wind forecast and there's a bit of rain last night, so I think the golf course is going to be quite gettable today. So yeah, looking to post a low one and try and put some pressure on Billy.
We saw a new course record set by Billy in the second round. Are you confident there are lots more low numbers out there today?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, the weather forecast is quite kind for us today, so if you get the wedges dialed in and the putter hot, we might have a chance.
Yeah, we talked earlier, John, about adjusting to the pro game, and Chris was on the European Tour for a while, then needed to take some time out from the game after that experience, but he looks to have come back reinvigorated.
Yeah, he does. Sometimes you need some time out. I mean, it's a long road, the European Tour, and I mean, he's done extremely well, but yeah, it can take its toll on you, and well, now he's come back sharper. So beware, everyone. Chris Lloyd's coming back. As we see, just Billy Hemstock tapping in for his part.
And that par means that James now has a chance to get within one of the lead if he can birdie the 7th for the 3rd day in a row. And he was never going to miss from there, was he? So he's really closing in now. Good to play with a smile on your face, isn't it, Gary?
Oh yeah, you know, mentally, if you're up and upbeat, I think it's if you can be a glass half full chap, life must be better.
It's going to be difficult for Gaughan to be a glass half full chap after that short one he's missed there. That's his first dropped shot of the day. Hemstock's lead continues to be eroded then, now down to just a single stroke over James. Chesters and Lloyd very much in the picture, just 2 off the lead. Gaughan and Stephen still in with a chance as well. And our sponsors must surely be delighted with the quality of what they're seeing.
Lookers support a number of grassroots sports across the UK, including rugby, cricket and a number of other varied sports. Golf is one of those sports, and this is the first time that we've taken our grassroots support into the professional arena. The sponsoring the EuroPro gives us an opportunity to raise our brand and put our brand into that level, and give those kids an opportunity, if you like, to progress, and hopefully they'll remember us in the future.
Well, this has got to be one of their signature holes, the 9th. Absolutely fantastic par 3. I mean, what a tricky green, all over water. Bunker just lurking there, but any pin on that left-hand side, well, that is treacherous. Anything on the right-hand side, if you go at it as well, there's a big feed off and it swells all the way down to the right-hand side, and that's going to be a tricky up and down, but what a great hole this is.
And as you can see, a car on offer for a hole-in-one, but no one's claimed it yet this week.
Craig Farrelly trying to work the ball into this back left pin.
What a pin position, Gary. Unbelievable.
Yeah, tough one up in that back left corner.
Hemstock comes to his first par 5 of the day. It's also the shortest of the par 5s.
Yeah, he'd be aiming down the left-hand side of this fairway. It opens up for the second shot if you can do that, and he's done it very well, just hanging on.
Farrelly had a little bit of momentum early on, but he's gradually lost it as the front 9 has gone on. This is a chance to get some back, but a long way away from the hole at the 9th.
Yeah, good rise up the hill. Bends from right to left, but levels out, and yeah, he's got a bit of work to be done to save his part.
So Billy Hemstock going with a little fairway wood. Try and squeeze it up on the green. That looks a bit left.
Yeah, he just pulled that one slightly, I think, Gary. Oh, that's come out hot. Oh, hopefully he finds it. It's pretty thick and gooey over there.
Never a good sign when you see a player react like that straight after a shot.
Great to save his part. Yes. Always like to listen to that sound.
We found Hemstock's ball, and it's a lot better than it could have been. He can see it, and he's got a clear shot towards the pin. It's not an easy one. There's a lot of grass to deal with. He'll have a bit of a lottery here as to how it's going to come out, but at least he's found it, he's got a shot, and he can save par.
Yeah, not exactly serene progress at the moment for Hemstock. He's really having to scramble here a bit, John.
Yeah, this is when you need all the bases covered in your game. You know, when your swing starts to let you down, this is what gets you out of jail. And that one, not a bad effort whatsoever, but if it goes an extra yard, that could catch a slope and feed off the green. Stable. Oh, it does.
And I think it really sums up what you were saying, John, about how difficult from day to day. Course record yesterday, struggling to stay to par today as we watch Chris Lloyd on the 9th.
Yeah, this hole will suit Chris. Probably no more than an 8-iron tall, high-rising shot. You can tell he had a lofted club. That's spinning off the green. Stay. Oh my goodness, there's water down there.
I think he's found it, and after that eagle at the 7th helped him back to within 2 of the lead, he's almost certainly going to fall further behind now.
Bumping up onto the green, getting the pace bang on. Look at that.
James Stephen from Scotland, only 22 years of age, only been a pro for a couple of years, represents Clydeway Golf, and he's been talking to Kit Alexander.
Last year I learned a lot, sort of what it takes to maybe make the cut. The standard's really good, so you need to be on the ball every shot, every round you play. You can't make any mistakes, so that's just what I was trying to do this year, and it's worked out in this tournament here.
You're playing alongside Billy Hemstock, who set a course record yesterday. He's in fine form, but does it help that you can see what the leader's doing in front of you?
Yeah, I suppose it does help, but also there can be guys coming from behind shooting really low scores round here, as Billy did yesterday. But again, I'll just go out and concentrate on my own game. If I can stick to my game plan and hit the fairways and hit the greens, I'll give myself a good chance.
Back to Chris Lloyd. I'm sure he'll feel a bit hard done by, Gary, after going in the water off the tee. Do you think he was a bit unlucky?
Oh, I think it was, but that is one of the dangers here because of the sort of upturned bowl type nature of these greens and the speed of them. If you land near the edge, you know, we've seen again even from the drop zone there, the ball's trying to get back off the putting surface.
You could see how disgusted he was with that shot then, because he was already marching with his bag down the right hand side of the hole. Well, that ball was still moving as we see Billy chipping and running. It's in danger. Oh, not quite. That'd be a little tap in for, well, a very fortunate par.
And that'll be the first time this week that he hasn't managed to pick up anything at the 7th. Now Lloyd trying to drop just the one shot, but he's got a lot of work to do here, John.
Oh yeah, and they have. This is 40-50 feet up the slope. Hits the rise now, going to bear way to his right hand side, and that is just a poor putt. Well, this is a hole he definitely won a white from the memory bank.
Yeah, he'll want to draw a veil over this very quickly and get out of there as fast as he can with as least damage.
Man of the moment, Hemstock, 1st and 2nd in his last 2 events after missing the cut in all of the first 3 this season. Having another good week this week, but not too happy with that one.
Now James would have seen a little bit of a read from Chris, but not a great deal because it was a poor attempt from Mr. Lloyd. Now coming up the slope, it's going to quickly move from left to right. Should come back a touch at the end. No, it doesn't. It just keeps coming. Just didn't hit it hard enough.
So Stephen trying to extricate himself from one of these deep bunkers. And he slid the club under that beautifully, John. That was a fine shot.
That was stunning play. And like you say, these bunkers are fantastic, Gary. They really are. Well designed, well manufactured, all round these greens. Deep as well as big.
Back to the troubles of Chris Lloyd at the 9th. He's undone the good work of the eagle at the 7th on this hole. Oh, and then even more than that now. And suddenly he's going to be 5 off the lead. A triple bogey there.
And this will be a great opportunity to jump further into the lead for Billy. It's not going to be, but that's going to be a tap in for a par. Nonetheless, I doubt it. I don't doubt it. Yeah, there we go. Now he heads to the difficult 9th. Woohoo.
And on the 9th, Richard James to complete a front 9 of 33.
Well, he's the man on form. That's for sure. He's the one that's going to be chasing Billy, I've got a feeling.
And there is Billy Hemstock still out in front on 10 under par. Richard James just behind him on 9 under. Ashley Chester's continuing his great day. He's on 8 under. And James Stevens still very much in with a chance. He's on 7 under par. 3 shots off the lead now, as the final groups head into the back 9 in the Lookers Championship at Close House. Welcome back to the final round of the Lookers Championship at Close House, where Billy Hemstock still leads, but really being pursued now by a chasing pack led by Richard James. And there you see Ashley Chester's also still very much in the running at 8 under, James Stephen at 7 under. Plenty of players willing to take advantage if Hemstock slips up. This is Robert Shaw, hasn't had any birdies since that run of 3 with which he started his round.
This is another really good par 3, John, right at the top end of the golf course. And that's a fine shot in there. Maybe.
It is. Gary, I must admit, fantastic par 3. All slopes from right to left on that green as well. Anything short and right will propel the ball on. Also bringing it in from right to left. Now James nips it off the top. He's been chipping well so far and does another one just to perfection.
Beautiful contact. He does get a good contact on the ball, this young fella.
Yeah, lots of zip in it, really controlling the spin. Now Robert Shaw coming down the slope, outside the right, swings back and in the hole. Finally gets another birdie. Hey, salute to the crowd.
He's been waiting a while for that one. And Lloyd looking for a quick response to the triple bogey he had at the previous hole.
Oh, and that just pitching probably 2-3 yards short of where he needed to be. Look at him running up. He knows there's a massive runoff there. Quickly mark it before it falls off the green.
He'd have liked to have been able to do that at the par 3, I think.
Yeah, he would have. Now Chester's has been so hot with the putter. Can he keep it going? This to save his par. Oh, and that is, well, we don't see him do many of those. Missing from that distance.
Oh, bit of a showstopper.
First bogey of the day. Bogey the 11th in the previous round as well. Now Hemstock looking to finish a fairly subdued front 9 on a good note.
Holding off that finish. Varden grip. Taking it over the flag. Hold. Yes. Now you take that all day long, wouldn't you, Gary?
That was a fine shot. It's very small, that top tier, and he's the one player that we've seen get right back there.
And he's very much the man in form at the moment. 32 years of age now, represents Teignmouth, 4-time winner on the EuroPro Tour. His favourite course, Quail Hollow, venue for the US PGA Championship next year. And he's been talking to Kit.
Your playing partners over the first 2 rounds took to Twitter yesterday to praise your short game, said it was an absolute exhibition out there. The greens are really tricky, slopey, quick. Is short game an absolute key to doing well here?
I think it's always important. It's always important, yeah. I think there's going to be times when you do miss pins out. The greens are very tough, and some of the pin positions were very tough yesterday. So there is a chance that I guess you're going to miss greens, and when you do, I think obviously short game's important, especially with these greens.
You came from behind to win at Montrose. Today you start the final round with a 2-shot lead. How different is that?
I think you get more expectation being the leader. Obviously playing in the last group, so there's going to be a bit more attention there. But apart from that, it's essentially the same thing, you know, just playing another round of golf.
Is playing in the final round and being the centre of attention something that you enjoy?
Yeah, I'd love to be, you know, in contention, in amongst the leading tournaments. That's why we practice and play, yeah. So it's great to be up there.
You've had 4 wins on the EuroPro Tour, including one very recently. What have you learnt from that and how you get over the line in these situations?
Generally speaking, you kind of just stick to the process, and I'm not much of a leaderboard watcher, so I just tend to go about my business and kind of, you know, go to work and just keep my head down, really. So I'll just attempt to do the same today.
He's not doing too badly so far as we return to Chris Lloyd. Looking for a quick response to the horrors he had at the 9th.
Nice uphill putt for birdie. Gets it.
The par 5s have been so good to him this week. 8 under he's played them in. That's by far the best in the field. Stephen hasn't really got going yet today. Started the final round 2 off the lead, but not out of it yet.
Yeah, nice putt.
He's left himself the sort of distance from which he missed quite a few early on in the round. James now this to get into a share of the lead.
Oh, what a swing on that putt from such short distance. Right across the face of the hole. Now he's got a tricky one for his part.
And that gives Hemstock a chance to go 2 clear again.
Bit of an advantage being on this top level, because it's very nearly a straight putt going down there.
It is a beautiful iron shot straight over the flag. He's only got a little foot and a half for his par though.
And Richard James still hasn't dropped a shot all day. He stays just 1 behind. It's been a very good day for David Booth of Rotherham Golf Club, a 66, the best round of the day so far. He's heading for his first top 10 finish of the season. Just that one blemish there, the 6 at the 10th.
Yeah, great round of golf. Now Stephen, can he hold this one for his par? Good 2-putt from where he was. It is.
As we head into the back 9, Gary, you set the pins for this back 9 on this final day. Tell us a bit about the process and how you select those.
Yeah, I did. Basically, you know, people often talk about 3 easy, 3 medium, 3 difficult. Basically, for PGA events that we referees, we really are just looking for a good pin where it's reasonably flat round the hole so that it's not unfair, and this is difficult here. And really you try and get a mix that are 1 or 2 near the centre and the others are an even mix of left and right side of the green, so that you're not favouring the faders of the ball or the drawers. But on a last round you're always looking for 1 or 2 rather cheeky positions.
Yeah, very cheeky positions, as we see James now. Now this to save par from distance up the slope, not to be, and that's going to be a drop shot.
Yeah, his first of the day. And having looked not so long ago like he might be in with a chance of going into a tie for the lead, he's now 2 behind. Hemstock as he turns for home, 10 under. James on 8 under, Chesters and Stephen still lurking. And here is Stephen at the 10th.
Yeah, this could be a danger man. He's lurking. It's down the left-hand side. This is 3rd shot. Obviously must have found a little bit of trouble off the tee. And this one, there's a big slope. This one's going to keep coming, and if it falls off the green, this could catch the slope and feed further away.
Yeah, there's a big hill there. That could be 15 yards off the green. So, as we take a look at this spectacular 13th, very elevated tee, you play down almost a double fairway here. You can choose to play down the right. Ideal line is probably left, but the real difficulty off the tee is avoiding these bunkers. If you can manage to do that, it's a relatively short iron into a big sort of kidney-shaped green. And yes, if you find the fairway and hit a good second shot, there is a chance of making a birdie.
Well, Ashley Chesters could do with doing just that, because he is running out of time to catch Hemstock.
He's still a long way away from, and that was too much sand came up there. Yeah, I think it was just a splash shot right up against the face of the bunker.
Yeah, they're so deep, aren't they, that those, John, that if you do get up against the face and they whip down the hill into them, you are just pitching out like it was a greenside bunker.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, big swing that was, practice swing for Billy. Is he going to lob this one up? He's trying to get some backspin on this one, try and spin it close to the hole. Oh, and he does it. Look at that. What a touch.
Yeah, that was a lovely touch.
Excellent scrambling all day, John, but sooner or later it catches up with you. You can't keep doing it all day, can you?
It can do. I mean, you know, it's one of those things. I mean, you know, when you're not swinging it that great, you have to rely on your short game. But yeah, it can dry up on you if you're not too careful. But this one, oh, that's a shame. What a release that was. And now that's going to just be, well, that's a treacherous chip he's got ahead of himself now.
I said he was really in need of a birdie if he's to be in contention to win the title, but looks like it's going to be at least 1 shot dropped instead.
And I mean, it's so difficult to convey to the viewers the slope there and how difficult. It's so little green to work with, and you know, you make a small mistake and you can look rather foolish.
Oh yeah, especially the way this course has been set up. I mean, it is fantastic. Loads of runoffs, very fast, really tricked up. And look at this for a chip. Oh, what a response from going long.
So Chester's limiting the damage there, but that's going to be a second bogey in 3 holes for him.
This to save his par. Stevens from just off the green all the way uphill. Little hint of right to left in it. Never on line, he knew it.
And it's a shame because he was almost in the perfect place, although he was a little bit short with his second shot. He was looking straight down the green, and disappointing to end up with that.
Another player who's had a good final round is Luke Cornford. He followed his second round 66 with a 67 today. So after an opening 75, he's set to finish well inside the top 10. And that will be his best finish so far.
Now Billy to polish off what will be a very good up and down, and that's for a birdie for Billy Hemstock.
Yeah, it's his first birdie since the 3rd hole. Billy Hemstock all of a sudden is now 3 shots clear again, 11 under with 8 to play. Richard James still leading the chasing pack, and a bit of a gap now developing back to Gaughan, Chesters, Lloyd and Stephen, who are all now 5 off the lead. Let's go out to John, who's been catching up with an old friend.
I'm lucky to be joined by Jonathan Lupton, course director here at Close House. How you doing, buddy?
Very good, thanks, John. I mean, it's been a long time since we played amateur golf together, and yeah, how things have changed.
Mate, unbelievable. I mean, here we are now, me giving you an interview. You're the main man at this place. I mean, and what a place it is.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, I've been here 7.5 years, but in my new role, you know, really since the turn of the year. But you know, Graham Wiley, our owner, spent a fortune, and you know, we've developed something hopefully that everyone will enjoy this week, and you know, it's really everyone in the north of England can be proud of as a golfing venue.
Yeah, I mean, the golf course this week, just under 6,900 yards long, and it looks like you're lengthening it out there as well, so it's going to cause havoc for them in the future.
Yeah, well, we're trying to develop it. You know, we'd like to bring more events here in the future, and we're trying to develop the test, and we think with the sloping greens, it does offer a stern test and ask for course management, but we'd like to keep improving what we have.
Well, I tell you what, the whole complex, I've had a look around this place. I mean, tell us a little bit about it. You've got a par 3, another 18 as well, hidden away.
Yeah, so we've got they're all got an equine theme. So we've got the Yearling golf course, which is a 9-hole par 3 course. We've got the Philly course, which is a 6,000-yard parkland course with USGA greens. And then we've got the Colt course, the main Colt course, which is the championship course here. We've also got 17 bedrooms and a beautiful clubhouse. So yeah, we're lucky.
Mate, you're a legend as
Cheers,
always, John. And I
Pleasure.
tell you what, it's a pleasure to be in your company again.
Thanks so much.
It's been a long time.
Cheers, John.
Welcome back to Close House. Now the owner here, Graham Wiley, has a stable of horses, and that's why you might see a few of these dotted around the course. Last year, we saw the 2015 Senior PGA Championship hosted here. The Colt course, when it first opened, was ranked one of the top 100 courses in England. Now, let's get back to the action.
Yeah, and it's showing again this week that it's one of the top courses in the country, one which tests all aspects of every player's game. And Billy Hemstock has certainly experienced that again at the 11th. He needed to get up and down from here to save his par. He left himself with quite a bit of work to do. But it turned out to be yet another example of that really good scrambling that we've been talking about all day from him as he tries to stay out in front here, because he made the putt, and that was enough to save his par at the 11th and stay on 11 under par and 3 strokes clear of Richard James. 5 ahead of Gaughan, Chesters and Lloyd, who all need something special to happen if they're to have a chance. As we join Hemstock on 12.
Well, the wind's totally died down from the first 2 days. It's probably in the region of a 6 or a 5 iron. Tall, high-rising iron shot to this difficult 12th. Pin at the front. Oh, and Billy's hit a cream cracker of a shot.
It doesn't get more stunning and beautiful than this tee shot on the 13th here at Close House. It's dramatically downhill. You've got the whole of Durham in front of you to aim at. Down there, you've got a fairway that snakes right to left, left to right, littered with bunkers. The challenge here is how far are you hitting it? What the players do here will give us a real insight into how they're feeling heading into the rest of this back nine and what they need to do. If you're leading, it's iron all day long. If you need birdies, you might want to reach for the big dog. Once you're there, it's no picnic into the green either. It's large, it's slopey, you're playing off a downhill lie, but if you play it right, it's a birdie chance, and what more stunning place to do it.
So James followed his drop shot at the 11th with a par on 12. Needs to make some birdies now as he chases down Hemstock, running out of holes.
I must say it really is very spectacular, and we're not very far from Hadrian's Wall here. You can see how the good old emperor, imagine looking over those hills and seeing all those fierce Scotsmen coming over 2,000 years ago in their kilts.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think it's just left of the 11th tee box, actually. You get to see signs of, you know, the wall there. So we see Stevens now. Can he follow? Yes, he can follow. Look at that. Gets inside him. Stunning iron shot again.
Yeah, it's been a disappointing day for him. He's 3 over for the round. He's just bogeyed both of the last 2 holes coming to the 12th, but a chance to make up for some of that there. James looking to get back within 2 of the lead now. Oh, and he has.
Well, that's what you got to do if you want to win this event, is hole some putts. Put the pressure on Billy.
And he's looking to follow Adam Runcie and Stephen Dodd and become the 3rd Welsh winner on the EuroPro Tour this season. So now Hemstock needs this to restore the 3-stroke lead.
Just a bit lacking in pace.
And suddenly it's all getting very close again at Close House.
Well, we now go across to the par 3 14th, which is a lovely little hole through the shoot of trees, and you know, a good straight hit gives you that opportunity on this hole.
How good was that? It is a beautiful par 3 14. Now, Stevens, can he make a 2 at 12? Yes, he can.
And that's off the back of 2 consecutive bogeys. That's the distance he was struggling with a little earlier in the round, but he got it just right there.
And this is going to be for the easiest 2 you'll see on 14. Straight up the hill, 1.5 feet. Bang! In it goes.
Mixed day for Henry. That's his 3rd birdie, but unfortunately he's also had 3 bogeys out there. So Billy Hemstock, 11 under, 2 ahead of Richard James. And it's starting to look like it might be just between the 2 of those now, because Chesters, Lloyd and Stephen all running out of time to make up that 5-stroke deficit. Booth and Cornford, the clubhouse leaders.
Well, 16, and what an avenue that is. What a tee shot. You come down straight through the trees, absolutely, then it whacks the wind. It could play havoc with your ball. It's 457 yards long, par 4. Thick bund on the right, and well, the whole acreage of trees that you can see on the left-hand side, which if you go in there, it's going to crash, bang, wallop, and it could go absolutely anywhere, and your ball could be dead. Now, perfect scenario is probably 3-wood off the tee, hit a low bullet, maybe, might be a time to get the old 1-iron out, the old wicked stick, hit one low underneath the wind and chase it down through here and try and get position A to tackle your 2nd shot into this green. Now this green kind of lays at you, it's down below you as well. There's some beautiful bunkers just positioned absolutely perfectly, and this fairway is very separate from everything. You need to knock one down. I mean, this is perfect pitch and wedge yardage, but I've got a 9-iron out, and it's going to be another one back of the stance, lean into it, trap it, get it a bit lower. You know it's going to land on that green and do what you want it to do. You don't want it spinning back like crazy either. And the pins at the front today, very tough hole. The old little Fred Astaire with the right foot. I was able to get good connection on the ball though, and that's on the dance floor. I mean, what a great par 4 at 457 yards. Could make a few people cry.
Have you had the call from Strictly yet, John?
Not quite. Would be nice to chuck some moves out there, that's for sure. Chester's out the right rough, coming in with a wedge. Doesn't really play its full yardage this 16th, because where you pitch the ball off the tee really propels the ball way forward down into the bottom slope, and you're only going in with sand iron or pitching wedge. And that one, just look at that, how severe the slopes are on these greens. That's just relentless, that ain't stopping, and that's in the thick stuff. Oh my goodness, he won't see what we've seen, but that is in, well, serious Bundy.
That's just horrible. Oh, horrible result.
Stephen unlikely to win at this stage, but this is going to be his first check of the season after all those missed cuts, so he really needs to make it as big as possible with a decent finish. And that won't help. Oh,
hang on, ball. Don't disappear on us. God. These pin positions round here, Gary, who set them up, eh?
I've no idea. I don't think the pin was actually anything to do with this. I just don't think he pointed in the right direction.
Yeah, I think it was just an all-in-all bad swing on his part. Didn't quite connect with it. Now, let's see the expertise of this young man. He's going to pop this one up in the air. Needs to get some height on it. Look at that. Now, land soft. Oh, too soft. Played it too good.
bit of work left to do for his par there, really running out of momentum over the last few holes, Chester's. This man, though, certainly isn't. He's closing in on a possible second win of the season.
Oh, look at that, banged on. And that's going to be an awkward one. That just keeps going and going and going, getting further away from the hole. Now this will be a get out of jail free card. Can he make his par? A bit of turn from right to left in it. Oh, catches the right edge.
And that'll be his third drop shot in the last 6 holes.
Well, this is where you see your confidence now. Tense moments, chipping. How relaxed are you? Oh, and there's a lot of work to be done there for Billy, Gary.
Yeah, there is a lot. As we take a little look at this 175-yard par 3 14th, very narrow shoot of trees, green sits in a bowl. If the pin's near the front, that big bunker at the front really comes into play. Today it's rather more in the centre of the green. So if they get the club right, there's a good chance of having a putt for a 2.
To 14, the last and the shortest of the par 3s, but no giveaway by any means, John.
No, it ain't. This is going to be in a region of 8 iron, 7 iron. Nice and easy. Like Gary was saying, just find the middle of this putting surface. Every chance then. Not easy when you miss this green, but he's found the dance floor.
He's birdied it in both rounds so far, and an outside chance of doing it again today. Stephen looks for his second birdie in a row.
Click of the fingers saying slow down. And that's going to be a 6-footer. A little sneaky one from right to left, I feel. Now, Robert Shaw. Can he finish with a nice lengthy putt? This one, though, for a par at 18. Across the back edge of this green. Coming down, going to gather a bit more pace. Come on. Oh, that's going to be a tricky one for a bogey.
You can tell from his demeanour there, it's sort of fallen away for him a bit towards the finish. He'll have that left for a 71. And Hemstock has this to stay 2 clear.
You know, it all adds up to a 5, but when you run it back, his second shot was landed so close. If he'd have had a bit of check, he could have had a 3-footer for a birdie.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was unfortunate. As we see James coming down the slope. Very fast putt down there, and that's not releasing as much as he probably thought, and I thought. Thought that was going to be right cozied up by the hole.
Yeah, it was a big chance to go into at least a tie for the lead, given Hemstock's problems over on 13. Speaking of 13, Stevens tidies up for his par on that hole.
I mean, the surfaces on these greens are absolutely pure. No qualms if you miss them, you just hit it on the wrong line. Now this one, just on the right edge. Just got to set the ball moving. And in it goes. And look at that for a round, though. I mean, early start was phenomenal. I mean, but that's good confidence booster going into next week at the Army.
Yeah, it'll be by far his best result of the season so far, despite 3 bogeys in the closing 6 holes. Hemstock needed that to stay in front, and he's just managed to do it. And as a result, James now needs this to stay only 1 behind.
Well done, very well done.
And as someone said in the distance there, very well done. He's still got that smile on his face. So Billy Hemstock, one ahead with 5 holes to go. Richard James, his only genuine challenger now on 9 under. Lloyd and Stephen, though, perhaps battling it out to be best of the rest. It looks as though it's down to just 2 then as we head towards the business end of the Lookers Championship. Will it be Hemstock for the 2nd time on the EuroPro Tour this season, or James for the first time in his young career? Welcome back to the final round of the Lookers Championship at Close House, where it looks to be a straight shootout now between Billy Hemstock of England and Welshman Richard James for the title. Everyone else just playing for the checks and the minor placings, as it were. Chris Lloyd leading that particular battle at the moment, but what a setback for Scotland's James Stephen. A double bogey for him on the 14th. He's having a rotten back 9, 3 over now for the day, and back into the pack there at 5 under. 5 shots off the lead.
Well, the 18th hole, what can I say about it, apart from it's fraught with danger from start to finish. 418 yards to boot. You've got a little stream running down the whole length of the right-hand side of this hole. Then you've got thick Bondi on the left. This beautiful bunker at 270, 275 off the tee, which is going to play havoc for the boys' heads when they're hitting driver or 3-wood off the tee. But look at this. Bit of whistling straights for you. Straight in the bunker, right up against the face. Oh, my goodness. Don't like the look of that. Come on, Mr. Cameraman, you follow me. Look at this. Now, bird's eye view, pretend you're my head, right? So come here. I'm gonna probably have to push my cameraman here. Get up that wall, Mr. Cameraman. Look at that. Look what I got ahead of me. Dangerous. Whoa, how good was that one? Go on, baby. Get there, get there, get there. Dance floor. Let's get up by the green. Now look at this. I mean, it is unbelievable. Have you ever seen anything like this before? A wall in front of the green. You got to come over. You can't run a shot in, so links golf out of the equation. You must get it airborne to get on there. Now come on, cameraman. How's your fitness? Oh, you nearly came a cropper. Now come with me. Look, you can see this green now, just a big kind of U shape that bends around this beautiful little bunker which guards this fantastic water feature. This is my bunker shot, ended up just past pin eye here on the left hand side. Now 20-footer across the slope. We know it's a little bit fast. We've seen one earlier on the 9th hole. Set the ball rolling. Needs a bit more though. It had its line. Oh, now he's got a knee trembler to finish.
And tough pin position that you've set on the 18th on this final day, Gary. Only 1 birdie on it so far, so it looks like you've done a good job.
Yeah, I'd had my eye on this all week, back right there. My mind is there's a flat little shelf over there, but it's a sort of risk or reward. If they choose to go for it, good luck to them. But if they get it just wrong, it'll be a bogey at best.
Yeah, that's for sure, Gary. Now, flop shot from under the tree, up onto the green, and well executed. Look at that. Beautifully done for Craig.
Back to our leader now, Hemstock.
Yeah, topsy-turvy green this 15th. It really is. Can you get it on the right plateau? Billy, high flying. Not coming to a halt, not spinning for him. It's going to be an awkward one.
So let's take a look at this 16th hole. It's a quirky little hole really, because it requires you to play the right tee shot, and ideally I think it's a sort of low 3-wood with a little bit of a fade to scuttle down the hill. If you can get it down there, it then only leaves maybe a 9-iron pitching wedge to a reasonably big green. But get out of position and roll off. There's huge runoffs this green, so if you miss the green, it's a very, very difficult up and down.
And on 16, this is the man who's looking to keep the pressure on Hemstock at the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, won't be able to see the bottom of the stick, but he's let go of the club there. That means one thing, going left. Oh my goodness, where has that ended up?
Sounded like it was hitting sand to me, but I suppose we'll see in a moment.
Craig taps that one in. Strolls off to the next. Now, what a putt. This is, only just gets over the wall. What a monstrous one, this one, Gary.
Yeah, this is, because he's, as we can see, he's got to come from that front plateau down through the little valley, get the pace right and let it trickle out. This will be great effort if he gets it within 3 feet.
If he was any further right, he'd have probably had to have chipped it.
Yeah, I did look at that. It is possible if you were just on the right edge, you could have had to chip it over that little valley.
And that could be a very expensive finish for Chester's. Hemstock looking to put a bit of distance between himself and James.
He done well to get the pace. He had the luck of watching his playing partner go first, gauging what he was going to do. There were similar distances, similar lines. Now, you were right, Michael. Found the bunker, up against it. Now, pressure on. This is a tough up and down. This will feed all the way down to the pin. In with a chance. Oh, shaves the right edge. And that's an awkward one coming back. At least 10-footer to save his par.
Believe me, John, no one knows the sound of a golf ball hitting sand better than I do.
Oh.
Hemstock to keep his nose in front here.
Yeah, hits the back of the hole. Confidently done. 1 foot in front of the other. Keeps plodding along.
Chester's looking to finish off here. Oh, that's well done, and it gives him his par on 18 for the 3rd day in a row. He was out in 32, disappointing back 9 of 38, and it's a round of 70, but he'll feel, I think, that it could have been a good deal better. Now over on 16, Hemstock has already found trouble off the tee. He's in the trees on the left, so this is a really important putt now for James to save his par. Oh, and that could be a crucial moment. Still only 1 bogey on the card today for James, and he could soon be tied for the lead, given Hemstock's problems there. As it stands, though, still 1 behind in what's now become very much a 2-way shootout.
The way he's practiced swinging there, it says he's coming out sideways. He's not going through the gap, which I thought he might do. He's doing the sensible option. That'll run down to the end of the fairway, probably just into the first cut. And he'll have a good 80, 90 yards for his 3rd. Just minding the branches on his backswing. Nice little bump and run out back into play. But that expanse there to the left of him, Gary, I thought he might have had a go.
Yeah, I'm surprised at that, because it, well, difficult to tell from here, but it looked like a big opening, and a little bit of left to right would have got him down there.
Yeah, well, here we go. Gouging this one out of the rough. Finding the fairway, and well done. Takes all your might to get out of this thick stuff.
Yeah, started the day still in with a shout, John Henry, but his chances were somewhat undone by early bogeys at the 1st and the 3rd. Now, crucial shot here for Hemstock as he looks to get up and down and stay in front.
Oh, that was a nice smooth swing, Gary.
It was a lovely swing. It's a difficult shot though, that even though it's only a slight downslope, not easy to manage to do what he did, which was to get a good enough contact to get the check to stop the ball close to the hole.
He just looks like he's got so much time over his shots, like it's in slow motion. As we see Henry now with his 3rd out of the fairway, taking on this back right pin you put in play for him, Gary.
Hemstock needs this to retain the outright lead.
This is huge. This is huge.
It's really a battling Billy.
Oh, what a par.
It was a brave Billy there.
What do we know, Gary, eh? We say we should go through the gap. He's played sensible and comes away with a par. Look at that, he knows it. Little fist pump.
Tell you what, if his short game wasn't in good order, he'd be nowhere near contention at this stage. But this is a chance now for James on 17 to leapfrog from 1 behind to 1 in front and take the outright lead for the first time.
That, I have to say, is a magnificent putt, because that really is a big slope across there.
It is. The pace, absolutely excellent. Salutes to the crowd. And that's going to be a 4, a birdie.
Farrelly hasn't had a birdie since the 3rd. Can he get one here to finish with?
Oh, look at that borrow with about 6 feet to go. Swung violently from left to right.
And that's an expensive final round of 74 if he just taps this one in. There you can see bright enough start with that early birdie, but very disappointing after that. Just couldn't get anything going. Well, no wonder Richard James is smiling. He's got a very short putt here to go into a share of the lead with Billy Hemstock. He's been chasing him all day. He's caught him now. Into double figures under par.
Yeah, great stuff. Now, awkward putt. Swings from left to right. We know it's downhill with about 6 feet to go.
It's for a closing 71, but, well, he was walking after it almost as soon as he hit it. So he got off to a poor start today, really, John Henry, and just gave himself too much ground to make up. Did make a few birdies, but it was never anywhere near enough.
Nice to play with you. Thank you very much.
So there you see it confirmed. James and Hemstock now sharing the lead at 10 under. Lloyd best of the rest on 6 under as he plays the last.
Yeah, it's a very good closing hole, this one. You require a good straight tee shot to stay out of the thick rough on the left or that little brook down the right hand side, and then, as John told us, up and over the wall, avoiding the water hazard on the right hand side, and a big long green. And it's important that you get the right club to not be faced with an almost certain 3-putt.
Yeah, Nick Marsh, the only player to birdie it today in his 67. Quite a few bogeys, some double bogeys, and a triple bogey 7 on this hole for Paul Dwyer earlier. How can James do now, the joint leader?
Yeah, out with a little fairway wood for positioning. Oh, and he's executed it fantastic down the right-hand side. There we go. Gary, it's kind of the club head at the top. I was going to say earlier on when I seen an iron shot, it looked very Dustin Johnson-like, but not that time.
No, pretty neutral position that time, but occasionally he does get the club a little bit closed at the top of the backswing.
Now this is a chance to go 2 clear at a very late stage for Hemstock, but he's miles away from the hole here, so I think he'd take his 2-putt happily from this position.
Oh,
he might not get it.
No, I mean this one, that there is just a, well, what can you say? It's just not thought long and hard enough on what to do and execute that one, as we see Chris Lloyd playing his 2nd shot to the final hole. Good, crisp, clean strike through it, punching the divot away. Oh, and pretty much you've seen Chester over there, and he's got a similar putt ahead of himself.
Hemstock maybe a bit tight with that eagle putt, do you think, John? Looking a bit anxious?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's unfortunately he wishes, you know, his playing partner was going first. His playing partner obviously got the luxury of seeing what Billy's done, but he's done exactly the same, coming up way short from that distance. Just shows you how good a putt James's putt was from the front part of that green. And you can just see the approach shot now into 18. James is down this right hand side, that big tree just coming into play slightly, probably on his ball flight, so aiming left half of this green, try and drift it from left to right with this back right pin that Gary's put in such a great place to entice him to have a go at. And here we go, all comes down to this.
Birdied it yesterday to close a 2nd round 68. He could really do with repeating that today.
You could really see he was trying to do exactly what you said, John. Aimed it down the left with a little bit of fade, and just half a club out with his selection.
That's a safety issue, though. That was good course management, but leaving himself a lot of work to be done. But Hemstock now, lengthy putt for his birdie. Didn't see this happening. Now up the hill, then it gathers more speed. Nice whole side, and that's going to be a tap in for a par. And you've got to say that was a good chance gone a begging.
And it looks as though he's going to need a birdie at the last to win outright. This man is just looking to secure 3rd place on his own.
Yeah, Chris hasn't had that day today where it's really gone his way. Big putt though. Oh, nearly goes in, but very confidently done. Whistling that one 6 feet past. But this is a man who's on a mission to get back to the top and on the European Tour yet again. So I think we're going to see some low rounds during the course of the rest of the year.
Stephen birdied the 17th in round 1 and round 2. He's done it again now in round 3. He's still going to be disappointed with his day, I think. That only gets him back to 4 under.
Yeah, Billy Hemstock wishes he could get James Stevens' birdie off him, but he can't. Now it's Richard James from downtown at 18.
This for a final round 67 if he could somehow make it, and it would put him 1 stroke clear.
It would, but I think he'll settle for a 2-putt at this stage with it. Such a difficult putt.
We've seen a lot of these being left short now by these leaders over the closing holes.
It's just treacherous putting surfaces though, they are slick.
James with a bit of work to do on 18, so maybe a par will be good enough for Hemstock.
Yeah, out with 3 wood. Just staring it down a little bit. Is this one going down the left? Oh, just a little baby bounce there in the thick stuff, and oh, that's going to be interesting, Gary.
There's some thick grass down there.
We heard him say earlier, John, he isn't a leaderboard watcher, but do you think in this situation he might change the habit just for this final hole?
Well, you'd definitely get a sense of it. You know, the crowd will be following James further on ahead, and he knows, you know, someone's going hot behind him. So yeah, he is hot under the collar. He knows he needs to deliver something, and now he's in, well, position Z down the left-hand side of 18 as we see Chris Lloyd. Can he finish off for a par? He can.
Well, he had the eagle on 7, but a triple bogey on 9. Bounced back well with a birdie then at the next hole, and then 8 pars in a row to finish. His 4th top 20 finish this season, and it'll be by some distance the best of those for Chris Lloyd. Now, Hemstock's got a ball in his hand here on 18. Looks like there's some issue with where his drive has finished, John.
Yeah, interesting scenario here. Obviously, the light absolutely horrific in there. Opting for the drop. I think what he's thinking about doing, he's got a clean line now. He can go at the green. If he tried to attempt it, you've got the bunker 40 yards in front of you. If you miss that, well, you know, you could get into a world of trouble. But we come to this man. This is massive. This could be the winning putt. You just never know. Down the hill, left to right. Boom, it's in. That could be a champion. You just never know.
And you can see what it meant to him. He was out in 33, had his only drop shot at the 11th. Pretty strong finish, and the only player to shoot all 3 rounds in the 60s. Will it be enough?
Fair play, Richard James. No, Billy.
Yeah, this could be a very good choice. If he gets a good one here, scoots it up the green, it may be a good decision.
Needs to get up and down to force a playoff. Oh, I think he ricocheted back off the wall there, guys.
He did indeed. Just see this. The option, you can see that bunker right in front of him. Opting why he decided to take a drop penalty. Very unusual to take it out of poor line. Normally people would just get a lofted club and just smash it and try and get it up there, but there was a lot of trouble involved.
So Hemstock needs to hold this to force an unlikely playoff. It all seems to have slipped away from him rather abruptly over the last number of minutes. And that's it, the chance is gone. There'll be no second win on the EuroPro Tour this season for him, at least not this week. And Richard James, well, he's heading off to the practice putting green to get ready for a playoff. That simply isn't going to happen, and he doesn't know it yet because he doesn't know what's happened to Hemstock on the last. He's got 3 putts from here to secure 2nd place on his own, so this is all relatively academic at this stage.
It's been unfortunate, hasn't it, Gary, for Billy?
Yeah, it's all in the space of 10 minutes. The 3 putt on 17 and then that bad lie on 18, and it's all gone.
Yeah, that's a shame for Billy. 73 final round, 8 under, 2nd place.
Richard, we've caught up with you here on the putting green, preparing for a playoff, but you don't need it. You've won the Lookers Championship. How do you feel?
Come on, I'm so happy. I was buzzing all day out there. I mean, I just enjoyed myself. I had a smile on my face all day, and that was what I wanted to do. You know, not often you're in contention, so I wanted to enjoy it, and I think that was the biggest reason why I performed the way I did.
Not many of the leaders at the start of the day picked up shots today. A lot were sort of hanging around where they were, moving backwards. You shot 3 under par. What was the key to that?
Putting. I kept it in play somewhat, but I putted unbelievable. I mean, I holed out from 8 feet and key 2 putts. You know, pace putting was really good. So, you know, it hasn't really sunk in yet. I'm thrilled.
So less than a year after turning professional, Richard James of Wales has his first professional win and a cheque for £10,000. A final round 68, enough to give him a 2-stroke margin over Billy Hemstock. Chris Lloyd, best of the rest, in sole possession of 3rd. David Booth, Luke Cornford and Ashley Chesters share 4th.
I felt I played really nicely today. I mean, bar the last, I played pretty solid, and I saved par when I needed to. I hold some really clutch putts. I think it was just playing quite tricky today. I felt like through the pin positions you couldn't really go for, and it was definitely harder than yesterday. But yeah, overall very happy with my performance, pleased with 2nd place.
Well, Matthew Court was the only player in the field not to drop a shot on the final day. A closing 70 secured a share of 14th place on 1 under par. He stays top of the race to Desert Springs. Billy Hemstock's runner-up finish takes him up to 2nd. And Richard James, who started the week outside the top 100, finishes it inside the top 5. Congratulations then on his maiden victory to the Lookers champion. It's the Welshman, Richard James.
That's it from us here at Close House. Congratulations to Richard James, the winner of the Lookers Championship. Join us next week at the Army Golf Club for event 8 of the season.